Welcome back to Anadialogue, the dialogue on analog music reproduction. In this episode, we're going to take a look at a very serious and sad phenomenon connected to vinyl collecting, record buying. What am I talking about? Record scalping. Let's see what it is. Okay guys, so today I want to highlight an important problem that regards all of us as consumers, as vinyl listeners, record buyers. What am I talking about? As I said in the beginning, the ugly and disturbing phenomenon of record scalping. Okay, so before we reach that, let's go through a few points in order to understand this phenomenon. Okay, so what is the big issue here that is taking away a lot of people from this hobby, from this passion? What is the problem? The problem is prices. They are going skyrocket high. They're too high in most cases. Already, it is becoming almost like a luxury item considering the price of a download file, but there's no production, there's no material parts. But if you take a CD that 20, 30 years ago was very expensive, now it goes for nothing, we have the reversed problem. Vinyl now is getting much, much expensive for various factors. We're going to focus on a few main factors. Actually, the most important, I think. Well, first of all, the production itself is expensive. Okay? Already if you decide to do a record, you have a series of expenses in the production itself. I mean, it's just the way it is. So that's already starting from a very high level. Obviously, then, all the labels, the companies know that people are willing to pay a little more, actually a lot more in some cases, for vinyl. So they already increase the price tag from the start, considering it's vinyl. So it's something special. So it's not a normal way of consuming music, at least not now, even though it's becoming popular and more popular with the vinyl resurgence. But yet it is still a niche product, and a niche product can have, we could call it a luxury type of price tag, unfortunately. Okay, so plus we must consider that we have a very slow production. We do not have that many pressing plants. I went over a few points, a few aspects of the production of vinyl in this video. Take a look here at this link. So we have all these elements that at some point are going to slow down the production, but the demand now is increasing. So at that point, we have a limited availability. We do not have that much vinyl per album, per release in the end, if you think about it. If it's something that all of a sudden, or maybe you already know because it's a famous reissue of a famous album, in most cases, it's not going to last that long because it's not like CDs that you can just print as many as you want, no problem. The process of creating a vinyl record does take a long time, and it's not fully automatic. You need someone that must cut the lacquer. It needs to be processed. As you know, it's very complicated. And all these steps, obviously, keep the investment stable. I mean, not moving, fixed. You're losing money if you're not selling, but though you have to invest a lot of money to create them, to produce them, there's all these different aspects, as you can imagine, connected to this type of production, which are going to increase the price. Also because the demand is high. So it's a vicious circle in this sense. What is another problem here? Another problem is that the limited releases, the limited editions, mainly connected to quality products. When we have, for example, AAA products, AAA releases, full analog chain records, That takes a very long time, and you have a very limited quantity because it's just difficult to have high number of pressings. We're not ready to that. And it is expensive because you have to use the master tapes to do a mother. And that mother is not going to last that long. Then you have to do another one. It's just very expensive. Already when we're talking about quality editions where they put particular attention, perhaps already in the recording if it's something new, or in the different steps of production. If you want to do high quality stuff, it's going to cost a lot in the end, including the cover. So that's already creating even more higher prices, this type of limited edition, plus the special editions for, anniversaries, special content added, special versions including downloads or CDs and things like that. So all these limited editions are going to increase the demand because people want them, because they know they don't have that much time. They know there aren't that much numbers. Hence, you can higher the price. Also because you have a limited quantity. So you have to increase the price in order to have some income. But all these parts bring to this horrendous phenomenon of record scalping. Okay, what is record scalping? Very simple. You probably know of what happened to the PS5, the PlayStation 5. It was supposed to be launched in the whole planet at Christmas 2020. Well, due to COVID, due to different problems and issues, just a few consoles reached the market. And a high number of those were taken from a number of people and changed at triple or 4, 5, 10 times the price and sold on different platforms, including eBay, etc., etc. So that's scalping. When you buy a certain amount of stuff, you know it's going to end, you know it's going to finish, or you're going to wait that moment, and then you're going to sell it at a huge amount of money. What is the problem here? It is legal because, you can purchase a lot of items for yourself, supposedly, and then you decide to resell them at a higher price. But if you do that, obviously, a lot of people are not going to have not even the opportunity to buy their own copy. And this is happening also for records. Plus, if all these people are doing record scalping on Discogs, mainly on Discogs, oh boy, but also on eBay and other, we could almost call it private sellers. They're not online stores like Amazon or whatever. It's not taking place there. It's taking place in smaller environments where people probably are doing other things in their lives, but they decide they know, because they know how to move, they know what to get, to invest a lot of money to try to get as much copies they can of a certain edition and then resell it at double, triple, quadruple the original price. And that's normal, I would say, in record collecting after 20, 30 years. Sure, I want a pristine copy. I want an original pressing. I'm going to have to take out some money, print, and spend some money to have it. Okay, but not after 1 or 2 days the release of that record. That is insane, and it's completely unfair. And that, as I was saying, increases the demand even more because nobody is getting those records. More people want it, hence the price is going to go skyrocket high, as we said. So, at that point, what happens when we have this vicious circle? As we said, the demand increases even more. The prices increases even more. Only a few people can put their mittens on that record who has enough money. That's completely unfair. Plus, if you do buy from these people who are doing this, from the scalpers, you're obviously incrementing that type of activity. You're helping it out, unfortunately. Yes, I know, you're just thinking, I'm buying a record, I have a little extra money, just give it to me. Well, we should refrain from do that, at least in some occasions, in some situations. Let's try to see what we can do to somehow, I don't want to say stop, but try to make the situation a little more tolerant better in order to have a little more space for us normal consumers who just want to get their copy, their personal copy. So first of all, the source sellers must try to ration the records themselves, the special editions mainly. And this is happening, for example, at Acoustic Sounds or also on Mophie, where you see sometimes only one or perhaps two copy per person, per order. That is something ethical to do, because otherwise, especially in those high quality and very highly soothed releases, if you just give free access, people are just going to buy bunches of them. And the whole enjoyment of that incredible, amazing release, it's just going to go down. And even the production house, they're not just going after sales. They also want that their quality goes around, that people know how good they are. But if just a few people keep them from themselves and they're selling it for $500, $600, just one copy that originally was $30, it's not going to go out there. It's going to take a long time, and it's just going to stay in the upper class society, which is not fair. Okay, so that's something important, that if you are a source seller, the original production house that is also selling, you should somehow restrain, limit the purchase for each person. That is fundamental. And it is happening in some cases. Plus, we consumers should not buy from someone that is an evident, easily recognizable scalper. Obviously, if there was a famous release just a few days ago, and now on Discogs you see that that specific issue at double, triple, four times the price, don't buy it. Let's just say, who cares? We'll wait for the next one. Or something else we could do is try to buy the scalper releases just a little increased over the original publishing price, the release price. That's okay. If it's 30, if you buy it at 40, 45, let's say we can accept that. It is unacceptable when we go at 2, 3, 4, 5 times. That's unacceptable. Another thing that we can do, this is a little more a stronger reaction, but I think in some cases we should, is to publish. Put around on our social media, nice, clearly evident, the names of these sellers who are doing this. Yes. If that specific seller is selling, and he does that obviously almost every time, constantly, buying all of these amazing copies all for himself and selling it at 4 or 5 times the price, okay, I'm going to signal that in my forum, in my social media page, wherever. At least we're spreading the words, and people are going to start to boycott this approach, this procedure, this very terrible and annoying way of marketing vinyl records. Okay, well guys, I'm interested in your opinion and mainly your experiences, your solutions. Please write them up down here in the comments. I just want to report one example that just happened now in Italy. I know a lot of people overseas are not going to know what I'm talking about, which record I'm talking about. Well, they just released a very famous record reissue after 40 years of the original version of La Voce del Padrone. It's a famous record, fantastic record by Franco Battiato. And after just a few days on Amazon, which is something recognizable and easily understandable for everyone, what happens there is what's happening also in the other places. After a few days, all the copies were gone. And immediately after, on Discogs, it was filled up with people selling a 30, not even, I think 24, 25 euro release, even at 400 euro. After a few days, let's say 10 days or so, Universal released a new version, again limited because it's difficult to produce a large quantity, for the 40th birthday of this record with a different color, so it's not exactly the same one. It's not a repress, it's another edition, but for the 40th birthday. Again, after just a few days, this was gone. Now, I haven't checked, but I'm sure in just a few hours, they're all going to be on Discogs. Well, not all, but a lot of them. Unbelievable. And this cannot happen for long. If the vinyl resurgence has to go on and develop and bring more people in this passion, this is a cancer that we have to try to exterminate. Let's all help in doing so. Okay, guys, thank you again for watching, and remember, music was born analog.
Well, guys, if you're enjoying my videos and you're enjoying my channel, please consider to subscribe by clicking the black and white logo here below. Also, don't forget to click the notification bell so you'll never miss an episode and you will become a true member of the analog community.